Welcome back. I'm Jon Lovett, joined today by my trusty team, Kendra, Hallie, and Lazarus.
Whoa!
It's so good.
Thank you.
Hallie's really good. Has it good? What do they call it? It's the
what is
the
that?
roar? The battle cry. It's the battle cry.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Let's get into it. What a weekday. After months of repeatedly pledging that he would not pardon his son Hunter, President Biden on Sunday pardoned his son Hunter. Give me the battle cry.
Ooh!
Biden explained to send Hunter to prison would be immoral as it would deprive the world of his art. That's not what he said. Biden issued a full and unconditional pardon to spare Hunter a possible prison sentence for his federal felony gun and tax convictions. It's a messy situation, but I can't help but be happy for Hunter, who will finally be reunited with his illegal gun. And now no son ever in the history of the world has been under more pressure to really nail that Christmas gift for his dad this year. I mean, he really got to knock it out of the park. Oh, a robe with my initials on it? Thank you, son. As I've been saying to you for decades now, you shouldn't have done that. The sweeping pardon also covers any other offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. We now go to footage of how Hunter spent his Thanksgiving weekend. That's footage from Grand Theft Auto. The president said in a Sunday night statement that he decided to issue the pardon because he believed the charges against his son were politically motivated. Continued Biden, I can't stand for my son to be hurt politically. Everyone knows a parent's role is to only scar their children emotionally. Here's what Biden said. The charges in his case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that's wrong. Biden went on to say there has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Crazy that they went to all that effort to break Joe Biden, only to get one-upped by the passage of time. Little did they know that all it would take to break Biden is stairs. After his pardon was announced, Hunter Biden issued his own statement saying, I have admitted and taken responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction, mistakes that have been exploited to publicly humiliate and shame me and my family for political sport. I will never take the clemency I have been given today for granted and will devote the life I have rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering. Added Hunter, I'm glad people know I got a lap dance to a Fleet Foxes song, though. I stand by that. I think he should. Donald Trump reacted in a Truth Social post, writing, does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. It didn't include them, obviously. That wouldn't make any sense.
That wouldn't make the news.
It just doesn't make any sense. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley wrote on X, I'm shocked President Biden pardoned his son Hunter because he said many times he wouldn't, and I believed him. Shame on me. Wrong, Chuck. That would only be if Joe pardoned his son twice. Then it's shame on you. It's still just shame on him. He's only been fooled once.
Right.
Yep. Shame calculus.
It's a shame Grassley sucks because he might be the finest poster of his generation. Here's his tribute to his vacuum cleaner on the day before Thanksgiving. He said, I usually send this picture of faithful Beth before starting the drudgery of getting farmhouse ready for the family coming for Thanksgiving. But since Beth is 40, 50 years old, I'm sending when I'm done, faithful Beth delivered.
Faithful Beth.
Faithful Beth.
Faithful. Look at that beautiful vacuum cleaner.
We used to know how to make things. I will say those things really used to last.
Yeah, we should do that part again.
For sure. For sure. Well, we made it. We all collectively chose cheaper and cheaper versions of things.
Correct.
And
I'm not absolving us.
no, it's just sort of we all did this. It really is like a good example of like we like all collectively choose the chain restaurants and then the local places close. And
Well, you sure do.
I part of it.
No,
for
well,
sure.
you said you were still using a 30-year-old fridge. That's a long
That's
life.
true.
And now it's fucking dead.
But you got 30 years. Someone got 30
Someone
years
got
out of
30 years out of it. Wasn't
Vanessa
me.
Hudgens had a great 30
Yeah,
years.
Vanessa Hudgens
That
got
fridge.
some good. Gary Oldman got some good years out of it.
She bought it the day,
Kinda
the day
weird
she
shit
was
he
born.
puts in there. What?
She bought it the day she was born.
House Speaker Mike Johnson posted, trust in our justice system has been almost irreparably damaged by the Bidens and their use and abuse of it. No, the trust was already damaged. The damage is why Biden said, fuck it. It's like when your phone screen is already cracked, so you start using it in the pool. Former Trump attorney Jenna Ellis posted Joe Biden pardoned 3 turkeys this week. Folks, this pardon power is for the birds. 3 turkeys. Democrats, meanwhile, were divided by the controversial pardon. Colorado Governor Jared Polis was amongst the scornful chorus, writing on X, "While as a father, I certainly understand President Joe Biden's natural desire to help his son by pardoning him, I'm disappointed that he put his family ahead of the country. This is a bad precedent that could be abused by later presidents and will sadly tarnish his reputation." Yes, and I'm sure that's what later presidents were scrupulously waiting for, a precedent. Trump waiting around for a president. Good kids, we can finally do whatever we want. But former Attorney General Eric Holder said the pardon was warranted, writing, "No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts. After a 5-year investigation, the facts as discovered only made that clear." But President Biden didn't just pardon his son for the crimes related to his convictions and plea deal, the tax and gun charges. President Biden issued a blanket pardon covering a whole decade worth of crimes by his son. Exciting. Added Holder, ask yourself a vastly more important question. Do you really think Kash Patel is qualified to lead the world's preeminent law enforcement investigative organization? Obvious answer, hell no. That's true. It is a more important question, and it's the question we ought to be talking about. But President Biden had other plans. President Biden's statement concluded, "Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision." But there was a little sense in delaying it further, Joe. There's a little sense in delaying it until perhaps Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or after you've pardoned a dozen other people who are not your children, but who may be targeted by the incoming administration, or after Hunter spent one night in jail where he could have been visited by 3 ghosts, all of whom told Hunter that he ought to finally form that bluegrass band he's talked about because his voice is amazing. Fucking ghosts. That's what he learned from these ghosts? What a shame. Donald Trump announced Kash Patel as his pick for FBI director on Saturday. Biden announced his son's pardon on Sunday. So now we have to talk about both. I get why President Biden pardoned his son, and I get why he'd want to make it a broader pardon for fear that the next administration might target his son because his influence peddling and sleazy dealings, while never tied directly to Joe Biden, are a great "what about the Democrats" talking point to use when downplaying Trump's open, brazen corruption. But Trump and his allies have threatened generals like Mark Milley, members of Congress like Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney, Anthony Fauci, journalists, intelligence officials, prosecutors, judges. The list goes on and on. If Joe Biden believes in using the pardon power to stop political prosecutions, if that's the principle, then so be it. There are more papers to sign. But if that starts and ends with Hunter, it's just a bullshit statement to paper over saying fuck it. And by the way, I respect saying fuck it. You're 1 foot out the door, not just of the presidency, but of life itself. You have this ridiculous pardon power. You were pushed out of the race, a race you believed you could win, by people you once trusted. She loses. Everyone blames you anyway. You leave Washington feeling like all you have is your family. You don't want to die regretting your failure to act while you had the chance. You just had your last Thanksgiving as president, and you know it came up at dinner. So you say, fuck it. I get it. I'd say fuck it too. But where's the fuck it for the rest of us? Meanwhile, Trump announced on Saturday that he had selected loyalist Kash Patel, a self-described enemy of the deep state, to lead the FBI. Patel has vowed that for his first trick, he'll somehow figure out a way to shoot Dr. King again. I don't know about that. This is beside the point, but announcing anything newsworthy over Thanksgiving is un-American. I found out Kash Patel was nominated to be our next FBI director while trying to get my father to stop calling the customer helpline for a 20-year-old oven. Let those poor people rest. We'll get takeout if we have to. It's clicking. I know it's clicking. Nominating Patel to the post would require ousting Christopher Wray, a Republican first appointed by Trump, who still has 3 years remaining in his 10-year term. Sure, Wray is a Republican appointed by a Republican, but will he open an investigation into Liz Cheney for the crime of being a huge bitch? No, he won't. Patel might. Patel, who worked on Trump's National Security Council before becoming chief of staff to the acting defense secretary, has previously called for the purging of employees at the FBI who refused to support Trump's agenda. Said Patel in a September interview, "I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day 1 and reopen it the next day as a museum of the deep state." Did somebody say Night at the Museum sequel? I can already picture Ben Stiller being chased around by David Koresh. That's exciting.
I just really think someone should hold him to that because I'd like to see how the timeline on that.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be our main takeaway, but it doesn't seem like Patel realizes that curating and operating a museum is a lot of work. Patel also issued this threat against journalists in a 2023 interview with Steve Bannon.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators.
Stay with that for one moment. Let's dig into that. You're right there. You're on the verge of a breakthrough, but we're out of time. We'll have to pick that up next week. Let's not forget to start there next week. Kash, you're so close. You start a media company in 2017. You name it Crooked Media. It's a wry little joke. Then all of a sudden it's 2025. Kash Patel is FBI director. And it's like, should we have spent like 10 more minutes in the brainstorm? Anyway, I find it hard to believe a guy as handsome as Kash Patel would abuse his power or target anyone who doesn't deserve it. Anybody that hot and that charming, I don't think we have anything to worry about. He's a good guy. And I'm on the record. Kash Patel is a good guy. Kash Patel is a good guy.
Please retweet.
But for whatever reason, a bunch of people who should be higher on the enemies list as far as I'm concerned disagree. Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton compared Patel to Joseph Stalin's head of secret police, telling reporters the Senate should reject this nomination 100-0. When John Bolton starts sounding like a resistance wine mom, you know we're in for a rough fucking ride. Trump's pick of Patel once again raises questions that Democrats, namely me, struggle with during the election and now must confront as the opposition. How do we contend with a Trump administration that's both deeply ridiculous and dangerous? Which fights are critical and which are distractions? Which smoke is coming from a wildfire and which is just a Cybertruck that blew up outside a crypto-only gentleman's club? On the one hand, you've got RFK Jr. showering in the background while his wife Sheryl Hines promotes beauty products for Black Friday with the hashtag MAHA, Make America Healthy Again.
No, you can't take a shower. I'm doing a video. No, you got to give me a second. I'm doing a video.
And sure, we all beat off to it, but to what end? It's not the most important thing about Sheryl Hines now basically becoming a right-wing grifter and doing Make America Healthy Again merch. She is in full glam. The shower is in full view. So this is fake.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's acting.
I think she's acting, but it's more like
She's phenomenal at it.
But it's also like it's not even a successful execution of the I was trying to film a video and then my husband was showering behind me, because the setup, she's like doing this like, oh no, RFK Jr. is showering behind me, but like you just wanted to make a video with him showering behind you. You could have just done that. You have to pretend he's doing something to interrupt you. That's ridiculous.
I do think it's interesting that RFK's whole thing now is like, I know that everyone wants to fuck me, RFK. Like that it's such an odd tack to take now. You know what I mean? Like
so it's they're such unappealing people. It's just like, this is so like I don't understand who this is for. I don't understand who sees this like, delightful. Bye.
RFK, I guess. It's just like it hits the same note over and over again. Like this is TikTok. Like we've already done this. Like the idea that this is happening, it's like I feel like you're catching the end of it.
Well, it's on Reels, so that tells you all
that's
you
2
need
weeks
to know.
later. You're right. Okay.
I will say 60% off everything is a genuinely good deal. After
Yeah.
seeing everything is 20% off, that's a great deal.
That's true.
60%? Finally.
Oh, Bobby.
I don't know what's in that stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to buy it, but if I ever were, today's the day.
Worm water.
It's also time to admit to ourselves that Sheryl Hines isn't trapped or talking to divorce lawyers or just barely tolerating him for tax reasons. Sheryl Hines is into this. Melania isn't replaced. Usha isn't conflicted. Usha might be a little conflicted.
No.
Kennedy also posted a clip of himself working out shirtless to Eye of the Tiger.
Okay, Robert. Okay, Robert.
And sure, we all beat off to it, but to what?
This is what you should be doing. I'm sorry. You have to fight that guy
He's
on
in good
TikTok.
shape.
You have to work out in your jeans.
I don't
I'm
want-
wearing workout pants.
You
Got
keep
jeans and
saying I
sneakers
have
on.
to fight someone. I don't want to fight anyone.
I know nobody wants to fight anyone. I'm sorry.
I just want to let's see who has a faster mile.
A foot race. I think that's fine.
Fox News lapped this video right up.
I just think it's unfair that you guys get to see this and we don't get to see any of the female members of the cabinet.
Who do you want to see?
I'd like to see maybe Linda McMahon doing yoga. Tulsi surfing. I don't know. Can I see something that's not fair, Jessica? It's just not fair. Charlie and I need to see some eye candy, too.
Oh, boy.
I guess that's what's left once Project 2025 bans porn. And look, I would not watch a video of Tulsi Gabbard surfing, but I think we're really getting off track here. Behind the buffoonery, RFK Jr. is an anti-vax crank who will pose a genuine threat to the health of millions of Americans as Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's a clown, yes, but the flowers on his lapel squirt polio. We've also got Pete Hegseth, Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, whose own mother accused him of mistreating women for years in a 2018 email obtained by the New York Times. Imagine receiving an email like that from your mother. Imagine your mother logging into her Earthlink account to confront you with the unacceptable truth of the way you live your life. Some frightening appointments are almost lost in the churn, like Russian propaganda parrot Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Gabbard seen here returning from a clandestine meeting with Vladimir Putin. No, that's... I think that's... I just love like 1950s, 1960s,
so
like
good.
green screen, just somebody standing in a room while somebody off screen is throwing buckets of water at them. The best.
Incredible.
It's practical effects for you.
It's the best. The onslaught, none like that beautiful shark in Gladiator 2. Do people didn't like the shark in Gladiator 2?
They didn't like the
People thought it
boats
was
at
terrible.
the beginning. I saw.
The CGI animals overall, we were just discussing this before we started recording, left something to be desired.
You know what?
baboon.
I want to come back to it. We got to come back to it. We got to keep moving. We have a Gladiator section coming. The onslaught doesn't stop. On Saturday, Trump announced that he'd chosen Charles Kushner, father of his son-in-law Jared and recipient of his 2020 pardon after pleading guilty to tax evasion and making illegal campaign contributions, to serve as ambassador to France. Now, people don't really remember this, but Charles Kushner, I believe, hired a prostitute to try to ensnare his brother.
His brother-in-law. For blackmail.
To try to blackmail
And they
him.
showed the tape to his sister.
What a family. What a family. People love money. The people go to incredible lengths. These were already super wealthy people. Anyway, fascinating. We all begged for season 5 of Succession, and boy, are we getting it. The only constant is chaos, and after threatening steep tariffs on all products that enter the U.S. from Canada and Mexico, Trump chatted with both Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau this week, praising his meeting with Trudeau at Mar-a-Lago as very productive. The meeting was just Trump complimenting Trudeau on the old blackface picture and constantly telling him it was hilarious before asking him if they have quarter pounders in Canadian McDonald's, making it the most successful meeting with a foreign leader Trump has ever had. It's also like a signal too of like what the next couple years will be like, in part because Trump goes out there and threatens sweeping tariffs that would destroy the economy, issuing menacing threats for actions that the Canadian government and Mexican government actually can't possibly do. Like they can't press a button that stops the fentanyl, right? Like they're not actually in charge of that, right? It's like a big complicated problem. Guns go from our side of the border down to the Mexican side of the border. And so he issues this broad threat. They all have to kind of find some way to kiss the ring. He claims it was a very productive conversation, that he's getting the results he had always wanted. And he gets to do a whole, storyline of Trump issues crazy threat. Foreign leaders capitulate to the power of Trump. Trump declares victory. The actual underlying problems haven't changed materially, but he can claim they have because he'll claim whatever he wants to claim. Meanwhile, we went through a cycle of saying Donald Trump is going to destroy the economy. The economy doesn't get destroyed, and we look silly, even though the thing he actually said he would do would be disastrous. And we just have to, I think, not allow ourselves to be tools of that story that he's going to try to, versions of that story he's going to try to tell over and over and over again. Anyway. Speaking of things that are French in some way, Trump announced Tuesday that he'll be visiting Paris for the opening of the newly restored Notre Dame Cathedral. I've heard of Emily in Paris, but this is ridiculous.
Wow!
As an act of diplomacy, Trump will be gifting France one of his very own hunchbacks. Sorry to the hunchbacks out there. It's a picture of Rudy Giuliani. Trump posted to social media, "It's an honor to announce that I will be traveling to Paris, France on Saturday to attend the reopening of the magnificent and historic Notre Dame Cathedral, which has been fully restored after a devastating fire 5 years ago." Privately, of course, Trump has called Notre Dame a loser and a sucker, adding, "I like cathedrals that didn't burn down." Why isn't he paying a visit to America's Notre Dame, a Missouri Bass Pro Shops that partially burned in 2020 after an irate customer set off a firework in the boat accessories section? Did you see the pictures of the restored cathedral?
I saw the inside.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I really like the more modern I would want to call it a bema, but I know that that's wrong.
That can't be right. Yeah.
What's the narthex? What's the nave? What's
I think
that?
it'd be the nave, right?
What is the nave?
Like sort of the top part,
I'm not sure.
the part with the seats.
Realizing I haven't retained much of Art History 101.
I don't like it. It's very millennial. It looks very West Elm to me. I don't like
really?
all the lights. I don't. I want it to be dark and.
I thought it was
spooky.
beautiful. I like the floor. I like the kind of simple aesthetic of the new kind of whatever that is. I don't know Catholic terms, but the big
The
bowl.
Pope, it's called.
The Pope, the new modernist Pope, Pope shape. Kind of
The baptismal
clean,
font.
I like a Pope with clean lines. I like a simple silhouette on my popes.
Yeah, minimal Pope.
Minimalism Pope.
Conclave in theaters now.
Back here in the United States, this past weekend was the largest Thanksgiving box office of all time.
I think Hallie might be
never wanna
better.
hear
I think
it
how
again.
you never want to hear that again? Well, buckle up because we're going to hear it again. Love Wicked. This Thanksgiving more than ever, Americans were looking at their family and rightfully concluding, how about we shut the fuck up for roughly 2.5 hours? Moana 2 alone made $221 million, the biggest Thanksgiving opening for a single film in history. God, after it made so much money, Disney must be kicking themselves for agreeing to kill Moana in it. Sorry, spoiler alert for Moana 2. She drowns. So no Moana 3.
You were so proud of that joke.
I like that joke.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for
Sorry for
Moana
the
2.
children listening.
Yeah, no, a child would never
if
consume
they
this
made it through
content.
the kids made it through the Kash Patel section.
The worst child in the world watching this.
Wicked also soared past expectations, capturing the biggest opening weekend for a Broadway adaptation to date. Let this be a lesson, Hollywood. Theater kids will not let you down. They will not have plans on opening weekend. Theater kids didn't even find out that everyone else from their high school class was hanging out over Thanksgiving until today. Adding Gladiator 2 in the weekend surpassed the previous record-holding Thanksgiving weekend, 2018's combo of Creed 2, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. Yeah, there were a couple years break where we all realized we were gay and learned to make sourdough bread and some other stuff happened, but now we're back in business, baby. Finally, back to the cinematic golden age of Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Those movies could not... First of all, there's been several of them. They all have impenetrable titles. I don't know what It's same thing happened to me with the Spider-Man movies because they're all called like Spider-Man the Homecoming, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Far From Home. It's like
Yeah.
what's the fucking order? Same thing with the monkey movies. Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes. What's the order? Does Rise come before Dawn or does Dawn come before Rise? David, which is it? Do you know?
Hell yeah.
It's the latter. It goes Rise, Dawn, or Dawn, Rise?
Dawn Rise. I like that.
Why?
Because that's just the way it is.
But that doesn't make any sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, sun has to dawn before it can start rising.
Yeah.
Sunrise
love it.
and dawn are synonyms. The sun is rising when it is dawn. It is dawn when the sun is rising.
But sunrise spans a period of time.
Boo!
I agree there's a period of
I'm
time
with
after
David.
dawn that the sun is continuing to rise. It rises till noon.
Exactly.
But that's not what we mean when we say sunrise.
That's not what you mean.
I don't like the monkey movies enough to care.
The monkey
I haven't
movies.
seen any of those.
But
Yeah,
I
I
will say-
really don't enjoy them.
All right, let's take a moment to talk about Gladiator 2 and Wicked. Loved both, enjoyed both thoroughly. We were talking about this. The CGI. I don't even know what kind of simians those were meant to be. They look like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
baboons.
baboons. They're baboons.
But one of them was in bad shape.
Yeah. You can buy like packages of CGI essentially. So you buy like
The baboon package.
exactly. And there's like a level 1 baboon package.
Oh,
which is
interesting.
cheap, up to like an
okay.
expensive
The
baboon.
luxury
I do not
baboon.
think Gladiator 2 is using off the shelf.
No. But so what I'm
baboons.
saying is you don't. No. But you don't have to. What I'm saying is you don't have to re-render an animal. You can get like a package and then have
Oh,
to do less
interesting.
rendering.
So they can get an off the shelf baboon
And then doctor it up.
Then doctor it up,
Like
fix
Little
it
hat
up.
on it.
Put a hat, right? Little bow tie. It's hard, right? Because I don't actually think it is the baboons themselves or the little monkey or the sharks. It's
The
what
monkey
happens.
was real.
I know. I actually.
Someone look this up.
I don't think the monkey was real. It was a real
looked-
monkey?
It looked real.
100%? You're going to 100%? Do you know that?
No, but it's some of them.
What if you're wrong? Then we'll never believe you and you're sure again.
I'll forget tomorrow.
Did you
What
look
are
it up or you just
talking about?
feel
Never
it's
believe
right?
him.
Can you look it up?
Yeah, we could get a monkey. Thank you.
It's not no effects at all? Dondas was 100% a real monkey?
You're acting like monkeys have not been a part of Hollywood the entire
listen,
time.
I just watched Him Crazy, and I would just like to think that there are no real monkeys.
Oh, there's probably more than ever.
I don't. Whether or not it may be a real monkey, there are definitely shots where it looks like like Denzel Washington is told to stand in a certain way, and then the monkey and now the monkey's on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Like there are moments where I don't know if it's fully a real monkey.
The monkey's real and Denzel is AI.
Whoa.
Whoa. There is a there was when the second time I saw Wicked, there was somebody sitting. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you heard me. I saw it twice. Deal with it. Saw it twice. Cried both times. Would see it a third time. Sobbed. Fucking sobbed. Full. I'm crying from good news. Like I cry from the opening of that movie. I am so in on Wicked. I fucking loved Wicked.
I can't. I'm not gonna like it. That's totally. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Just as someone who is a musical theater person, I just wish I felt the same.
You saw it?
No, I haven't seen. I do not like Wicked. No. I saw Wicked original cast 2003.
Okay.
So like I've seen.
And
Wicked.
she hated it then.
The music does nothing for me.
I want to. Agreed.
I'm sorry. It's not. It's just not.
It's not what?
It doesn't do anything for me. I don't find it to be particularly imaginative. I don't like The Wizard of Oz as like a vehicle for storytelling.
Neither does Wicked.
It's based. What do you mean?
It's a twist on it. It's saying imagine. I fucking love Wicked. I thought it was beautiful. I'll cry right now thinking about it.
Do it.
I also enjoyed Gladiator too, but the sharks did take me out of it. They were not very real seeming. Speaking of fantastic beasts, that's what the transition was from a while ago.
Great.
This year's National Dog Show winner was Vito, the first pug to take Best in Show at Purina's annual dog show competition. I don't know if that makes sense. Vito made the judges an offer they couldn't refuse. The chance to crown this adorable pup Best in Show. Here's Vito on the Today Show.
Vito and his handler, Michael Scott. Not that Michael Scott. Vito, Michael, David, congratulations
Hooray.
for being here. I mean,
Vito was already booked to discuss his breakup with BB Rexa, so it worked out perfectly.
If you knew who BB Rexa was, it would be funny.
Yeah. Said one judge, he's everything a pug should be. One head cold away from death.
Woo!
Do you, when the dog show is on, do you call Pundit into the room? Because I will call Amy into the room when they're announcing her category and like try to get her to sit and watch and like so she has representation.
This was so I didn't watch anything. So I worked part of the day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Tuesday night and Wednesday night I did like prep cooking, and then Thursday did cooking. And so Tuesday I brined the turkey and I spatchcocked the turkey and I brined the turkey. Wednesday I made cranberry sauce from scratch. I made a artichoke casserole, and then discovered that my fridge was slowly rising in temperature and no longer staying below 50 degrees. So then on Thursday morning, I threw out the turkey that I had brined for 2 days and bought a new turkey, spatchcocked that bad boy. Didn't have time to brine it. There was no time to brine it. Made the mac and cheese, made the mashed potatoes, and then cooked the turkey, and then made gravy from scratch. But I was basically cooking the whole time. It was very fun. I really loved doing it. I put butter under between the skin and the turkey, which was very fun and gross. But I made a compound butter with herbs and garlic and salt and pepper. Got the turkey all ready, cooked the turkey, but I just was in the kitchen the whole time, which I actually love doing. I love just sort of like being in the kitchen making stuff.
What did your family say?
Well, such an important question. There was some question as to what we could or could not eat because it had been in the fridge that had slowly risen in temperature. And so
your whole family's in the hospital is what this is?
Oh, they're fucked up. They're fucked
from
up.
all those stab wounds.
Yeah, the hospital being our nickname for the toilet. But no, so everybody, it all turned out really, really well. But like, I think like I was like this, like I basically used up everything that was in the fridge but like my sister was like, I don't know if this macaroni and cheese is safe. And I was like, it is safe. The milk is fine. It smells fine.
Also, it was in the oven.
Yeah, everything was in the oven. That's the whole thing. It was all in the oven. I relented on the turkey. Like, I would have cooked the turkey and just tested it because it's like, we're going to cook it, so it's going to be okay. But I don't know. I think that if it had been overnight in a fridge that had been probably...
Yeah, you made the right call.
Had to go. The turkey had to go.
Because also, if they get sick, you will never live it down. It's just not worth it for them to always have that to refer to.
But then when I was using the oven started... It's an old oven, so the oven started clicking. So then my father called the Viking number. It's like, what? Who do you think's on the other end of this phone?
I didn't know Viking made ovens. I knew they made sewing machines and vacuums.
It's an old Viking oven. I don't know. It's probably 20 or 30 years old, too. I have no idea. Anyway, it worked out well, though. But I didn't watch the dog show. Yeah. And this pug one, even though, I don't know. These things... I feel like they shouldn't exist.
Nature's defects.
Vito is the best example of a dog that should never have been made.
Yeah,
right, it's not even nature's defects. It's a human-made thing.
Yeah.
They were bred to have worse and worse faces.
It looks like a bug.
And you can see it in his eyes, too. It's like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And that's our show. I want to thank Sarah. I want to thank Hallie. I want to thank Kendra. I want to thank everybody behind Wicked for doing an amazing job, really bringing their A game. Also, whoever was in charge of the baboons. I think you did fine. It didn't take me out of it. I really could see them as being baboons.
I could use more baboons.
Sort of
honestly.
I was a bit confused by them as like what I didn't think that it was more like what kind of animals are this? Are these animals that no longer exist? Are they sort of like they look like monkey dogs to me? That's what I thought. They were like monkey dogs. And you did a great job on those monkey dogs. And I didn't see Moana 2, but
Great outro.
I'm sure that everybody worked really hard on Moana 2.
Hallie, take us out of this.
Whoa!
Oh, I don't think we want both of those playing at once.
See you. Yeah, I think we do. See you sluts on Saturday.